A very good afternoon to all of you and welcome on our sunset safari where Craig and I are finding ourselves, well, slightly damp. Now, my name is Jamie and this afternoon, as I've told you, Craig is on camera with me and we have been with Malaika pretty much all day apart from when we went to lunch, came back and she disappeared. Luckily for us, we managed to find her again. Those of you new to these safaris, don't worry, I'll explain exactly who Malaika is in a second when she stops moving. But this is all happening right here and right now in the Masai Mara of Kenya as I attempt to rescue all of my belongings and take them out of the rain. So there's some really heavy rain on its way, but this is perfect cheetah hunting weather. A couple of drops like this, there's a very good chance Malaika is going to go and hunt. If you have any questions on that, or indeed anything else that you see or want to know about wildlife and Africa in general, you can send that through on #SafariLive on Twitter. There's Malaika. I thought I was being so clever, you know. I put one side down on our car, in terms of covers, and I thought that would protect us from the rain that was coming from the south, and all of a sudden it's decided it wants to come from the northeast. So exactly the opposite of my intended effect. All that means is we might have to do some shuffling around. Now Mia, you want to know how Malaika got her name? Her name means angel in Kiswahili. So Malaika means angel, and I think there's a very good chance that she was named during Big Cat Diaries or one of those documentary programs. So I'm pretty sure she was named by the guides but made famous by the BBC. Her mother, of course, was the star of Big Cat Diaries and was well known for their habit of jumping on cars, something that Malaika has inherited, something that we don't encourage, and something that she's passed on to these two youngsters. Now, she's very hungry. We spent a little bit of the sunrise safari with her, and then after the sunrise safari as well, and we saw just how hungry Malaika and her two boys are. Now, she's having to work really hard because she's got two teenagers in the house, essentially. So not only does she have to keep herself fed, she's got to keep them fed as well. They are distracted, and she's gone ahead, and I see an Impala over there. So let's just get up ahead. Oh, wait, hold on. She's sitting down again. Let's just wait and watch and see which direction she goes in. Sorry about that. I'm not sure exactly which way she's going to go, and I want to just make sure that we go in the right direction when she does. Most of the time when I've seen cheetah in heavy rain, they've actually sheltered from it, and it's only after the rain has stopped that they start moving about. This is still pretty light rain, but it's about to be heavy, I would say. We're okay for now. Jen, here's the fascinating thing. I don't think we fully understand exactly how cheetah communicate with each other while hunting. When I was watching, I think a lot of it is pure instinct, but when I've been watching the five cheetah brothers, the Fast Five or the Five Musketeers, or whatever else they've been named over the course of the last few weeks, when I've been watching them, they have a unique way of hunting. So they're constantly looking at each other, constantly glancing across and taking their cues from each other's movements. And they essentially surround the herds of animals that they're hunting, and then one will move forward, and I don't quite know exactly how they coordinate it, but coordinate it they do, by the looks of things. Or perhaps it's just a process that they've learnt, and they just look across at each other and then hunt in that way. It's very different to something like this kind of scenario where Malaika's actually got to teach, or not so much teach. I don't like using that word because to teach implies that the boys have no prior knowledge or instinct. The young boys know how to hunt. They're just not very good at it. What Malaika has to do is provide them with opportunities to practice. So I guess teach is a good way of phrasing it, but to me, it creates this implication that she is showing them everything, where in fact what she's doing is providing an opportunity for them to learn. Does that make sense? It implies that there's no natural hunting instinct, which isn't the case. And they would have been honing that instinct on small things that run past them, scrub hares, jackals. It's there, just in the same way it is with young leopard cubs. Young leopard cubs are very seldom, they are sometimes, but they're very seldom given the opportunity to actually hunt and kill with their mums. It's something that they know instinctively how to do. So it's a combination of environment, nature and nurture. Let's put it that way. It's that old battle. Oh, hello, rain. We are going to have to shut up fully, I think, soon. Kathy, it's a very, very small number, so it's a tough job for the female to raise her cubs. As you know, they have a very, very high mortality rate, and you're probably looking at around about a mortality rate between 70 and 80% that do not survive to adulthood, depending on the environment that they're in, the number of lions, the number of potential threats. So that essentially means about 20 to 25% survive, if that. So something we've been talking about, well, I've been talking about today. You weren't with me while I was talking about it, but the fact that Malaika's had 28 cubs, 6 litters, and she's raised 3 of them to adulthood. Okay, we're going back down this way now. All right, Malaika, off we go then. Why did we have to do a full circle of the bushes? I'm confused. She keeps me guessing, this cheetah. She doesn't really appear to pick one direction. But it's her that we want to watch. The boys will follow. Right, where are we going now? Away from the rain. I like that idea. I'm a fan of that plan. Oh, goodness, Craig, look at these two. I'm sorry. Can you reach them there? No. Yes, just? Having just said we need to watch Malaika. Sorry, everyone, the roof is in our way. But these two have decided to bundle together and have a little game in the rain. Look, I'm straggling you. No, you're not. Pinned you. No, you haven't. I'm just lying down. Okay, see? See? Now I'm up. Haha, now I pinned you. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Can I just show you what's coming? Alice, we're in big trouble. We're not in big trouble. We're in trouble. We're just about to get drenched. That's coming. I really, really, really am going to have to make a plan here. It's coming. Some of it's coming from behind us, some of it's coming from around us, some of it is barreling straight at us. I've got to. Sorry, I'm in your shot. Alright, Craig. Oh no, there goes my earpiece. Sorry, Alice, if you're trying to talk to me, but I can't do both. Here it comes. There we go. There you go. There goes my... It's fine, Els. It's fine, Els. No problem. No problem. I don't mind doing this. I really don't mind doing this live. You're just going to have to put up with me because I'm going to have to take my comms out. So if something happens with Brent, Craig will have to tell me. You keep watching the cheetah, and I'm going to let them get a little bit away from me, and I think we're okay with just one side down. Hello. Don't mind me. No, come on, don't get hooked. There we go. Which one's which? Will you just keep an eye on them for me, please, Craig, and shout if they're doing something. Oh, here it comes. Okay. Where's Malaika going? She's definitely moving, isn't she? She's up front there. Hey, it's raining. Go shelter like a good cat. This is not what cheetah do. Cats must hide when it rains. I'm joking. Cats don't have to hide. In fact, it's good hunting weather. Oh, okay. No, there's nothing I can do. I have to take the side down. I have to. We can't move like this. Okay, yeah. Alright. Craig, don't worry. You stay in comms in case something happens with Brent. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Car seats, the seats are not attached, so sometimes I fall down. Ah, now they're playing in the rain. Oh, the challenges of life. Okay. I hope you're all enjoying the behind the scenes. Okay, do you think we can open this window slightly? Let's see how we go. Okay, let's go catch up with the cats. Whoa! I nearly fell out of the car. I can't see them anymore. No. Now my key won't turn. Sorry, let me just do this. Goodness. By the way, the reason you're watching me do this is because Brent is struggling with signal for a change. Come here. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, I'm back in comms. Whew. You know, it's quite effective, the fact that I can do it that quickly inside. Now I just got to drive without seeing where I'm going. And all will be fine. I have to say, we have the combined genius of the guides and the cameramen in designing new rain covers. Oh no, where have the cheetah gone? No! I worked so hard to find you. Thanks, Francis. Says, good job, Jamie. Well, Craig helped a great deal. They're heading this way, yeah. Okay, let's just not fall into a hole is my only concern. Where have they gone? Yeah. I'm gonna need you to look out, Craig. I don't want to lose them in this weather. We'll never find them again. Well, we will. Just might be next week. I can't see. Before you ask, yes, the car has windscreen wipers. No, I don't know where they are. Somewhere in our storeroom. I can't see it all. I mean, I can see well enough to drive. I can't see where the cheetah went. Brendan's general... It's raining cats. Well, they've vanished now. It was raining cats. It'll probably only just rain hard enough for us to lose them. I know, I'm very grateful for the rain. You got him. Woohoo! Well done, Craig, bravo. Where's here? If I point to the right. Okay. Craig is guiding me. I got him, I see them. Back a bit. No, you don't know if you can see them. Okay, you shoot and I'll move you as you need to go. Yeah, I think I'll go back a bit. There we go. Does that help? More? Thank you, Craig. This is teamwork, everyone. Found them. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without our camera operators, obviously. Craig, it's blowing in from that window, isn't it? Are you okay back there? You shout if you think the camera's getting too wet. I've got everything covered here. I've got everything, monitors all covered up. Whew. This is going to be so wonderful when this clears. Also, we may not get home tonight. I don't know. I don't think the Talec's going to be crossable. We're going to have to go around the outside to the bridge. The sneaky crossing is no longer a thing. Daniel, no. Cheetah do not... a shout over the side of the rain. It's so noisy. Cheetah do not have dens that they shelter in when it rains. Kirsty earlier this morning rather sarcastically said that they check into hotels or halfway houses, but that is absolutely not the case. They do have dens for when they have cubs. You okay there, Craig? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Tony, I know. Oh, these poor kitties. What about poor Jamie and Craig? The water's coming in. No, I know. I know. Idea of the window in the front. I'm trying to get it to stop dripping inside. Trying to soak it so that it runs down. This is not working. Stop dripping on me! Where's it coming in on my toe? Why is it coming in on my toe? Where is this even coming from? How is this possible? Why is my toe so wet? The water's pouring in. So nowhere to go for the poor cheetah. I'm just wondering if I shouldn't reposition. Where's that rain? It's coming from behind us. Or possibly Dill, or possibly Phil. I can't really hear over the sound of the rain. Lions don't mind the rain too much, although most big cats will shelter like this. It's just good hunting weather, which means that, you know, for them, it's an opportunity to get some food. I'm gonna have to re-angle us, everyone. This isn't working. The rain's coming in too much. Yes, yes, rumble, rumble, I know. Oh, I love having a wet foot. The water's positively pouring in. Okay guys, we're just going to do a quick battery swap. There's some serious problems back at camp. It's actually nothing to do with me and the rain. We'll catch up with you soon, but we're just going to say farewell for now. Please bear with us. You can imagine this weather plays utter havoc with everything. I can't even see the... Craig? Where are the cheetah? Which bush?
There's two termite mountains just on the mountain. So straight in front of us, that little bush here.
Okay. Yeah, I see them. I want to turn my back to this weather and still look at them. Holy moly! And we do apologize. I'm shouting over the sound of the thunder and lightning. This is officially... Oh no, where'd the cheetah go? Oh, there they are. This is officially the worst storm I've ever been in the Mara. And I have been in some really bad storms. This has been something else. It really has. Oh, what is the cheetah? Ah, no. They're slipping around in the mud. They're playing in the rain. We can't even show you. There's nothing we can do. Craig can't open the windows. The rain just streams in. The cheetah were looking miserable and now they look pretty happy again. Maybe they know something I don't. I had a brief look on Null School as to what our future entails, and it doesn't look good. Hold on, I'll show you what I mean. It doesn't really look fantastic, does it? I mean, that's the cloud cover. We are the green dot. Are we in trouble? Yep. Why, yes we are. Ah! Now it's changed direction again. Oh. We have to cover the camera, everyone. It's coming in up top. The rain's changed direction. My shoes are floating in the footwell. Okay, I'm going to turn my back to this. We have to cover the camera. Oh, bye-bye, everyone. We'll send you across to Brent. I see sky!
Well, there we go. You can see there the storm that Jamie is stuck in the background. Oh, look at that. Harrier. Who we got? Montagues or Pallid? Oh, it's a male. I'm going to let you decide. Hashtag Safari Live. What Harrier is that against the black, stormy skies of the Masai Mara? Lovely camera work, Manu. They are one of the more difficult birds to follow. And you can see it's actually riding the wind that's bringing that storm towards us. That is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, we've had a bit of a frustrating day, it seems. So we spent the whole day with the 5 boys that we were with this morning. And unfortunately, well, fortunately for them, unfortunately for all of us, is they did manage to kill a juvenile wildebeest. Unfortunately, it was in an area where we don't have any, where we normally have signal, but that storm is blocking our repeater we normally work with in this area. So we've had to come up away from where the boys are and use a repeater that's in the sunny side behind. And I forgot. I'm so sorry. I forgot to introduce myself and Manu. It's been such a long day. We've been out here all day. Hello, I'm Brent Leo Smith and I have Manu on camera. So we did get a report of Amani, the female cheetah, out towards the east of us this morning. So we might go have a look for her. But I think, unfortunately, we're going to be in the same boat, literally, in the tent boat, as Jamie in about 20 minutes or so. I can hear the thunder and it is moving incredibly quickly towards us. So at some point we are going to have to drop our covers. Rolf is wondering, do we get tornadoes in the Mara? No, we don't, Rolf. We get dust devils, which are like mini tornadoes, but not nearly as bad. And every now and then in places like this, you might get something that will take the roof off a few houses, but nothing like the tornadoes you get in the US. Or in the Midwest, particularly. Okay. Oh, the temperature has just dropped about 5 or 6 degrees, and the cold wind coming from the storm has just hit us. So Manu and I are going to try to keep away from the storm. We've been very lucky. We managed to sneak around 2 storms yesterday, but I think we might not be able to sneak around the third. Lara Moore was wondering, would the cheetah slip and fall in a chase during the rain? Yes, it is possible they would, but probably not as much as the hooved animals. The hooved animals would have a harder time on the wet, slippery surface than the pawed, clawed animals. So yes, they might slip, but not as much as the gazelles and wildebeest. Well, the 5 boys are going to be very full because no hyenas appeared, no lions appeared, so it looks like they're going to get a really good meal out of that wildebeest. And, well, I was hoping the storm might pass and allow us to show it to you, but unfortunately that storm is directly between us and the repeater that we use in this area. But, c'est la vie, let's go find another cheetah. Manu, what is the score? 1-1. The Manu Brent Big Cat Challenge is still ongoing. It is 1-1 presently. So let us go play that game. Now remember, if you have any questions, I'm waiting for you to answer a question first, of course, about what Harrier was dashing past. If you have any questions, though, hashtag Safari Live on whatever platform you're watching would be the best way to get hold of us. And there we go. Oopsie. Aha. Or anything else. But hi, Mary. Nice to have you on board. So Amani was up to somewhere between us and those hills there. So that's where we're heading. Now, of course, Amani is Imani's mother, as well as the mother of the 2 girls that we see around the ridge and Paradise Plain. Linda is wondering, why is there such a high concentration of cheetah in the Mara? Well, Linda, it's really good cheetah country, as you can see. There's also a constant supply of decent food all year round. Binoculars. Binoculars getting attached to radios. Radios getting attached to binoculars. I think they're just having a chat. And lots of game out that side. Also, quite often, there's that lovely coalition of 4 male lions that are also in this area. But so as I was saying, Linda, it's really good cheetah country. Now, the density, although we see a lot more cheetah here than, say, in the greater Kruger, is not that much higher. Now, of course, you must also remember that in the Mara, we have 150,000 hectares, over 300,000 acres of area to roam. So we've got a lot better chance at seeing a cheetah. Also, the male cheetah in the Mara, their territory tends to be a bit smaller because they have better access to females. Now, as I said, overall, the whole area, if you take the Mara as Serengeti, compared to the Kruger, the density is not that much higher in the Masai Mara, but it is much easier to find them, number one. It's much easier to spot them in a plain like this, as opposed to the mixed broadleafed woodlands of the greater Kruger area. So yes, the density is slightly higher, but it's not exponentially higher than the greater Kruger. they're a lot easier to find here. Now, unlike lion and leopard, a small cheetah, male cheetah territory, because the females don't have territories, they have quite large home ranges. A small male territory is around 30,000 hectares, which is half the whole Sabi sands, which is about what more or less what a male cheetah has in this area, where there is in the Kruger an average male territory is 60,000 hectares, and that's got a lot to do with availability of females, prey density, other predator density. So it always varies, and it also goes in ups and downs. So certain years a female cheetah might be very successful in raising lots of cubs. Other years she might lose all her cubs. So it's a constant evolving and changing sort of flow of things. Roshni would like to know, is the success of the cubs directly proportionate to the size of the litter? No, not necessarily. I've seen females that have only had 3 cubs and raised all 3 to adulthood. I've seen females who've had 7 cubs and raised none till adulthood. There's a lot of different circumstances that affect cub mortality in cheetahs, and the main one is lion densities. So in areas that have got very, very high lion densities, you tend to find a higher mortality rate, up to 75-80% on cheetah cubs. And in areas, for example, if you take the deserts of Namibia and Botswana, the Kalahari in particular, where the lion densities are not as thick because they have to travel vast distances to get enough prey, you'll find cub mortality in cheetahs drops down to between 40 and 50%. So it all actually depends on the area, sometimes the time of year that they give birth. So if they give birth, for example, during the migration, the lions are pretty solidly stuck into wildebeest. But it sounds like Jamie's got something really special to show you.
We do. It is absolutely stunning. These boys are playing in the road. That's the road, by the way, not a river. That is where the road used to be. Okay, now they've moved, of course. It's really tricky. We still have to work. Oh, hold on, we're coming back. Look. They've been chasing it up and down. Can you believe it? It's crazy. They keep chasing the water and trying to catch it. It's too sweet. Okay, can I... Oh, there we go. He's still playing. Look at this. They're loving it. Then they sprint around and they try and catch each other. Oh, don't lie in it. Oh, the other one must be coming. The other one must be coming on its way. There we go. Come on. Hey, you two. Don't run into me. Skid in the mud. See how relaxed they are with us. How amazing is this? Total and complete youthful abandon. You silly twits. Get the water. Smack the water. Go on. It's like a dog. My aunt's dog used to do this. With water from the hose. Okay, the other one must be coming. Eh? What are you doing, you maniacs? Oh, that makes the whole experience that we have just had so worth it. Just to watch the joy from these cheetah, and in this gorgeous post-storm light. Lara Boer, I think it's safe to say that nobody would be able to claim they don't have a sense of fun. And the two of them have just... We had to wait for the rain to settle a little bit so that we could show you. Watch, now every now and again they start to chase the water running downhill. That's the road. Just to give you an idea of how much rain we've had, that is the road. Okay, boys, are you done now? The storm certainly isn't. It's still rumbling past us. If we get struck by lightning, my epitaph must read, "I told you so." We won't get struck by lightning, don't worry. It's all sheet lightning. Wait, boys, wait for me. I wanted to show you what the drainage line looks like that they crossed this morning. It's just behind me, but you can't see it. It's completely underwater. It's a flowing river. We've probably got about 40 mils or so in the space of that since the storm started. If I had to guess, Craig, tell me when. You good? There, you can see Malaika. And they're going to go and bug her now that they've chased the water away. Gosh, not the easiest conditions. Craig doing an amazing job, considering he has to shoot out of a tiny window. But it's for this exact kind of scenario that we created the tiny window. Oh, I really hope that blue sky is moving towards us, and that it's not coming still from the west of us, because otherwise we're in trouble. Not in trouble, we've survived it. At one point my flip-flops were floating in the footwell, but they have thankfully returned down now that the water's all gone. Now, this is going to be the challenge. We can't roll up yet, but I think that Malaika is seriously considering hunting now that the storm is gone. For now. The speed or the amount of water that comes down in such a short space of time is actually quite terrifying. Molly, a cheetah's eyesight is very, very good, and it's geared towards movement. So the most likely thing that they're going to pick up on is something moving, wherever it happens to be moving around or whatever it happens to be doing. So movement is what attracts a cheetah's attention. In fact, all predators will be attracted to movement. So it's not bad. In fact, in certain circumstances, I almost feel as though it's better than ours, which can't be the case. We see a far wider variety or spectrum of colors, but I always feel that their eyesight is better than ours because of the stuff that they spot. But remember, they're using it in conjunction with hearing and a sense of smell that is far more acute than ours. See, she's seen something. I don't know what she's seen, and I don't know if she'll be able to get to it with the drainage line being as full as it is. Cheetah can swim, but it's not something they want to do. Was that fun, boys? Did you have fun? Paul, you say it's amazing how the weather reshapes the landscape. What have you seen? Now the boys caught on to it as well. What is he looking at? It's so tricky. It's an eland. You can't go and hunt an eland, mister. It will not work for you. Look at her. She's looking at us as if to say, I know. You see what I have to deal with? Brrr. She looks cold. Shame. Slinking. This is where we need the slow-mo shots of them shaking themselves off. Sam, these cheetah would easily be capable. Now we're trotting. I don't know if that's because they're trotting or if because they've seen something. I can't really tell. These boys are capable of taking on an antelope easily. A fully grown Thompson's gazelle would be well within their reach. It's just skill more than it is about strength. But they could, and they probably have, in the time that we've known them. Trot, 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 trot. Water splashing everywhere. It really does create the most dramatic scenery after all of this rain. I'm just wondering, if we can take up one of the sides, but I don't think so, not yet. Especially with not what's in front of me. Especially not with what's in front of me. Okay, Yoda. I don't know if that's still coming to us. I've given up trying to predict which way the Mara weather comes from. It's crazy. Oh look, I found another road, and by that I mean a river. Luckily, we're actually really lucky with where we are. We're on the crest of a hill and it's very rocky, because we could end up getting stuck in this so quickly. We couldn't have been in a better place for this to have happened, except for, you know, the whole being exposed on top of a ridge. This is really difficult. Kathy, yes, the park does close. Not the park. The roads close because of rain. All but the main roads close after a certain amount of rain in certain areas. What has she seen? How much is raining out there, Craig? Still too much. This is so... Now, it's coming from the front as well. If we drive with this, we're just going to soak everything. So we can't do that. Okay. Well, let's go pop ourselves on the road. Hannah, my favorite thing about the thunderstorms. I like thunderstorms when I'm inside. My favorite thing about thunderstorms here, I'm not sure if it's the leaky door or if it's the vague fear that the elastics or the bungee cords are going to snap, or the wind blowing the roof up and then spraying the rain inside of it. No, I'm being sarcastic. My favorite thing about thunderstorms is when you are tucked up in bed, though, to be honest, and the light afterwards, because there is nothing as extraordinarily beautiful as the light after a thunderstorm. They're after a jackal. I can't see. They go racing after a jackal. No. I don't know where he went. I can only see one. The jackal's gone. Out of your shot. I can't see where the second male was. I can see where the first male is. They've missed it. Okay. Cool. Right, sorry Alice, what were you saying to me? Oh, she's calling them. My favorite thing after a thunderstorm is the amount of activity from the animals and the light. They always seem so happy afterwards, regardless of what it is you're following. So tricky. I think we could probably... I think we're almost in the clear. I just heard her behind me going... calling the cubs. Oh, how interesting. There she is. Lucian, yeah, absolutely. The cheetah, the ground is soaked. This is a river. And yes, the cheetah make noise when they're walking, and no, that probably isn't great for hunting. I think it's the cool temperatures, honestly, that really encourage them.
Thunderstorm is causing havoc. Final Control actually got struck by lightning and everything went haywire, but it's back. Fortunately, the lightning protectors did their job. And there we go, some yellow-throated sand grouse. There's big flocks of them up top here. Well, we've been looking for this mysterious female cheetah that was spotted somewhere around here. So we're keeping a close lookout. Manu, can you see the baby Thompson's gazelle that's trying to hide? You got him there. Hello, little Tommy. Is it a Tommy? Yes, it is a baby Tommy. Yep, a little baby Tommy. Mom's around having a graze and the baby's just lying down. But so far, Manu and I have been very lucky when it comes to storms. So I can show you the general direction. It's going to be difficult for me to work out exactly where it is because I can't see it. So, but before we do that, flock of it looks like Caspian plovers. It is Caspian plovers. There we go. Caspian plovers flying past. Dip, amongst the yellow-throated sandgrass. Okay, so let's just try and work this out. So if we come, let's stay wide on this side here, Manu. There we go. Let's stay a bit wider, come out a bit, so I can get my bearings where we can see. Okay, so Jamie's about there, somewhere. Final Control, however, is somewhere in there, in the thick of it. I think even actually a little bit further to the left. There's the ridge. So actually, yeah, about over that tree. That's Final Control. Somewhere in there, in the darkness. And Manu and I are enjoying beautiful sunshine here on the eastern sections of the Masai Mara. However, Jamie in Final Control, not so lucky. Okay, let's keep looking for this mysterious female cheetah. Watch out, little Tommy. Sorry, sandgrass, sorry. Almost sound like something's really upset you though. When you've drive past them. So we got told she was up high here somewhere, so we're pretty much in the highest spot we can get in this area without climbing up to the top of those hills in the distance. So our plan is to go around and around the croton bush. Basically, on top of these hills, there's these big croton thickets, and it is still quite warm. And we'll see if she's maybe not hiding on the edge of one of these croton thickets. And of course, Manu and I, our competition is still going. Indiana Jane. Indiana Jane is wondering, are cheetahs still used by, like, hunting dogs? They're not. Probably the last cheetah used like that was in India, late 1800s, that I know of. So cheetah can be tamed quite easily, and the old Indian Rajas used to keep them as hunting, basically hunting pets, and they would even ride on the back of a horse on top of a saddle. Now, that is the most recent use of cheetahs as hunting pets, but the practice actually stems back as far as ancient Egypt. However, in ancient Egypt, they weren't riding on the back of horses. What was done is that generally dogs were released first and sent to run through a thick thing of bushes, probably quite like this, and once an animal was flushed, then the cheetah were released, because obviously they were much faster than the dogs, to make the final kill. So that practice has been going on for over 5,000 years. Well, we're going to keep looking for this mysterious female cheetah amongst the croton thickets. While we do that, it seems like Jamie might have survived the storm. Let's go find out.
We did! We survived the storm. We even managed to open up our vehicle, sort of. Halfway. That's my concession to the fact that I'm not entirely sure which way these storms come from, because I could have sworn that came from the south, but then Brent said it was heading to him, so therefore it came from the north, but there's a massive storm to the north, so I'm not really sure whether or not we can say we fully survived yet. There's just massive rolling clouds all around us, but we're in a nice patch. The eye of the storm, perhaps. Shame, and the poor ladies in FC getting struck by lightning. It is one of my... There's not much we can do about it when we're out here. We are so far from any kind of shelter, but it is one of my deepest fears. I'm very, very frightened of lightning. Probably almost irrationally so, but it comes from having lost a couple of compatriots when I was a kid in South Africa. They were struck by lightning out camping, and it stuck with me from a very, very young age. So I'm very nervous of lightning. I don't like being in thunderstorms when I'm out in the open. Okay, boys and Malaika, where are we going? Are we going to double crossing? Because if you take me to double crossing, that is it. That is farewell to beautiful Malaika and her two boys. I can actually hear the river rushing. Craig, it sounds like whitewater rafting. Craig, Rebecca, Brent and I went whitewater rafting on the Nile for our leave. I don't think I'd want to go whitewater rafting on that though. Just purely by the smell of it. When you drive through double crossing, it just stinks of hippo. But really stinks. Powerful, stagnant, rotting, horrible smell in double crossing. Whoops. Dripping. The covers are... Oh, there's a hole. Covers are absolutely sodden, so they are dripping on us every now and again. But otherwise, I think we might actually touch wood. I think we've escaped unscathed. Now, don't look at the giraffe. You can't hunt a giraffe. Look at the wildebeest. Sorry, I have to show you this. I'll show you the cheetah in a second. Obviously, I've lost a field of view on my right, but just have a look at the wildebeest off on the horizon. They are joyful to have survived the storm as well. We spoke about big cats liking rain, and if any big cats do like rain. Lions do hunt in the rain, but hyena are the ones that really truly capitalize on the fear and panic caused by a storm. I think at the moment the wildebeest are just gallivanting, actually, up and down, round and round. Oh goodness, there's the giraffe in the distance I was talking about. Our poor cheetah have attracted the attention of the lapwing once again. Let me reposition so you can see this, because it's quite cool. They are being dive bombed. Aaron, I don't really know how often it happens that vagrant birds are blown into the Mara on big storms. It happens all over the world, that where there is a big storm or a hurricane or whatever it happens to be, it happens that the bird life is blown in. So they do get blown about in the wind, and sometimes you do get odd species appearing. I'm not sure how often it happens here in the Mara, and how much of it is caused by storms or just getting a little bit lost, but it is something that does occur in all parts of the world. I'd have to ask somebody who's been birding here for a bit longer than I have, because I haven't heard any tales of it happening yet, but I'm sure it does. So that storm actually blew in, from what I could see, the major part of it blew in from the east, from looking at Noel's school and looking at the weather, the wind patterns. I'd check again, but my phone is now out for the count. It has now died. So we won't be doing that. I think I hear a class's cuckoo. Oh no. Yes, I suppose it must happen that water fills up the den sites that are under the ground. A lot of them are shaped in a way that will help to reduce the amount of water that goes down there, but there is a certain inevitability that some of them will be filled, and in fact, in certain very tragic occasions, a lot of or some baby animals might drown. The biggest risk, though, is less to do with drowning, because a lot of those den sites, they won't be filled up completely, and a lot of those den sites are A, built away from flowing water, with their entrances away from flowing water, and B, they have levels, so they have ledges that the animals can actually move up out of the wet on. So they don't get that much water in them because they're built at an angle, and they're built with their entrances a lot of the time facing downwards rather than upwards, so the water doesn't flow in. But the biggest threat is less to do with drowning and more to do with pneumonia, particularly for something like a baby warthog. Now, baby eland and baby warthog and a couple of other young species of animal are very, very sensitive to sudden changes in temperature, which is what's happened here. And I think this is actually a massive front, a big front, looking at the clouds that we've seen. I'm going to try and have a look and see if we can get the cheetah and the giraffe together. So, I've more than once seen eland with pneumonia in the Kalahari in a desert, because the sudden cold snaps just catch them, and the old and the young are the ones that struggle the most, and young warthogs are notorious for it. Oh, I don't want to get too much closer to the river, or we're going to have to phone Miss McCurdy up while she's on leave and tell her that we've taken her place as the Marshmallow Queen. I'm not liking the feel of this. The cheetah don't have to worry about getting stuck. They've got a better 4x4 than I have. We've just sunk. How far have we sunk? We've sunk quite far. I'm going to move out of this area, I hope, if we can. We've stopped now, which is a little bit disastrous. But no, we're going to have to go around. We cannot continue going straight if we come out of this at all. Where are you taking us, girl? At least you're taking us away from the boundary of our traverse area. Jilly, you want to know how tall a cheetah is at the shoulder? Just over a meter or so. No, actually. On these cheetah, that's not even the case. Probably. They do have long legs, of course, compared to their body size. But if I were to stand next to them, their shoulder would probably come up to around about just above mid-thigh. And I'm about 5'7", if that gives you a rough idea. So they'd be under a meter, under 3 feet tall. Okay, guys, I'm a bit worried. I'm really hoping we can go backwards here. Okay, we're fine. It just felt like we were sinking. We're going to have to go out and around. We were sinking. Would you look at that? Okay, as we zoom around and catch up with the cheetah again on going a route that's not going to get us stuck, let's go and find out if Brent's been hit by that storm at all, or if it's missed him completely. Apologize for that. It seems as though Brent didn't have any communication ability. It's one of those unfortunate things that at the moment his vehicle just seems to be having a little bit of a nightmare when it comes to those sorts of things. So we're still here, still cruising along on our river road. I'm just trying to see which way the cheetahs are going to lead us. Wow. Wow, there's a lot of water. Crazy. John, I've never seen large hail here. I have seen small hail, but I've never seen large chunks of hail. So it's something that particularly in Johannesburg we experience in South Africa. We very seldom have hailstorms in the low veld, which is where the rest of the team will be joining us from, I would say, in a few short minutes. But yes, we do get hailstones here, but not very large ones. I've never seen large ones. But I haven't been here at the height of the serious rainy season. Wow. The amount of water is actually breathtaking. It really is. I don't want to get stuck in any of it, but look at this river that's flowing into the Olareorok River. That's where double crossing is. That's all feeding in there. Guess we won't be going through double crossing tomorrow. I was going to try and see if we could go and see Armani's daughters, but that's a no. Oh, hello, girl. Good girl. Come this way. Atomic X, yes, that does happen within the cheetah population, that yes, a male cheetah may kill a female's cubs if they are not related to him, or if he hasn't mated with that female, then yes, there is a chance that infanticide will happen. The same with leopards, the same with lions, and it makes sense, the reasons that it happens, even though it's not particularly pleasant for us to contemplate from our human perspective. Thought she was going to keep walking towards us. Such beautiful skies, though. And screenshots. This I love. The post-thunderstorm gold. I'm distracted. I'm watching the vehicles trying to decide if they can get through the water. Hey, bravo, one's made it. What were we oh yes, we were talking about infanticide. Infanticide does occur, and it's done because the male wants to bring the female back into heat or estrus. He can't afford the time spent waiting for her to raise the cubs, because by then he might have been kicked out of his previous territory. So yes, the male may kill female's cubs. So it adds to the number of different threats that cheetah cubs face out here, which is why Malaika, who is on the right, by the way, has done so well to raise her two little hooligans. See how much wider the male's faces are from hers? She looks the picture of elegance. Neat and well put together. Her boys are slumped and with much wider faces. Okay, I'm going to throw on an additional layer. Having nearly been washed away, we have survived. I know that this morning it was raining in Djuma. Let's go and find out whether or not Noel has managed to dry off.
The rain has lifted, but it is still cloudy and a little bit windy. Welcome to the afternoon here in Djuma, Sabi Sands. I am Noel, and on camera we have Vildy. Hi, Vildy. Yeah, so it's so far been an interesting afternoon. We've been following some alarm calls. Don't forget, we are live. We are interactive. Hashtag Safari Live on the Twitter or on the YouTube chat. Vildy and I, of course, are on a leopard hunt. Vildy loves a leopard, and our Nkuhumas have moved north over Biffle's Hook cut line, and so have the Birminghams, or at least two of them. So he and I, I don't know why I can't talk today. He and I are on a leopard hunt. We really feel like leopard today. So no, it doesn't look like any lions for now. So we're coming into the area where we've been seeing Shadow on and off for the last few weeks and her youngster, and had some pretty hectic bird calls. We got into where I was really convinced we'd be finding her, and then everything went deathly quiet. So who knows? All right, but we are going to carry on. We don't give up very easily here. There's a few other places I want to check, and I also want to see if maybe cheeky little Hassana wants to say hello to all of us while we are at it. So we're going to meander out of our area where I'm pretty convinced that she is, but she just doesn't want to be seen, and see if maybe she's just moved and I'm maybe a little bit too far to the left, or too far to the right, or too far north, or too far south. We'll have to see. But it is a good afternoon to be out on game drive, and while I'm busy looking for Shadow, let's head on over to James and see what he has to say.
Good afternoon, everybody, one and all. I hope that you're all filled with a sense of joy and well-being, as I am all the time. My name is James Henry. On camera we have Sebastian. There he is. That is his really substantial thumb. He is, of course, a substantial human being. And interestingly, his thumb is the same length as Viam's, and Viam's the same size as one of Seb's legs. Good. Okay, it's 23 degrees or so out here, 73 Fahrenheit, I'm told. It feels a bit colder than that. Our plan today is to try and find Thandi and all of her cubs. Oh, quick link. We're going to go across to Jamie, who's got possibly hunting cheetah.
We had a possible hunting cheetah. She's just alerted to the Thompson's gazelle. Oh, she's just alerted the Thompson's gazelle to her presence. So absolutely, we had a potential hunting cheetah. She dashed forward in the direction of this herd that you can't see at the moment because, of course, it's on the wrong side. But unfortunately, after all that, she went in too quickly. And I think they've all seen her. But I've made this mistake before with hunting cats, where I think that they've messed it up, but it wasn't actually their intended target. Now everybody just hold on. Oh. She's jogging forward. It's interesting. She's jogging forward. There she is there, Craig. And all of the Tommies have now raced away from her. What is she after? Every Thompson's gazelle has seen her. So what is she racing towards? Strange. Could she be going to tackle something larger than a Thompson's gazelle? No. She seems to have given up. No, she's jogging again. She's after something further up ahead. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what it is she's after. Alice, I'm not sure. I don't want to make the wrong call on this one. Hold on. Let's get ourselves closer and then we can make a call on the... Because, I mean, she's alerted everything to her presence except maybe the wildebeest. Is she going for the wildebeest? She's stopped jogging now, which is what I thought might happen. Oh, I feel like I should get onto the road. What is that over there? Those are lions. She hasn't seen them. Are those lions over there? Can you zoom in while we move? No, it's lions. That's not good. She hasn't seen them. And there's a hyena. There's lions over there. There's the lionesses. They've seen her. Maybe that's what Malaika was running from. Maybe she saw them. I didn't even know there were lions there. Oh, cover! How fast can I sort this out? Okay, hold on. Keep watching the lions. Malaika's now turned around. She's still unaware that the lions are there. Craig, just let me know if the lions start to move. I'm hooked. I'm desperately, desperately hooked here. Terrible timing. Oh, no. Stop getting hooked. Alice, I'm out of comms. And I'm hooked again. Oh, my goodness. This is one of those days where I'm not having a very good time of things. My earpiece is now in the mud. That's all right. Any action from the lions yet? They haven't moved. Sorry, Craig. I didn't mean to bump you there. Okay, the cheetahs has given up. All of the antelope are following the cheetah. The one good thing about this scenario is that the antelope will spot the lion, even if the cheetah don't. Okay, it's not perfect, but it'll do. Not my best work. Okay, the cheetah are moving away. Here we go. Okay, Els, I'm plugged back in, I think. Let me just test that I haven't wrecked it, dropping it in the rain. Okay, perfect. The line's going. Gosh. Mia, no, there's no particular lions that have a reputation for killing cheetah in particular. It's, it just depends on the concentration of cheetah around them as to whether or not they're more likely to attack a cheetah than others. So no, all lions will attack and kill cheetah if they can, but there's no particular pride because there's no level of malice, there's no level of forethought or premeditation to it. And in fact, this lioness I don't think is even going to go for the cheetah. I think the cheetah have spotted it as well. They're trotting away off to the right. Sorry, I'm puffing away, but that's because there was a little requirement of some acrobatics there to unhook us without getting out of the car. But all is well. The cheetah's seen the lions. No, still hasn't realized. They still haven't realized that the lions are here. No, don't go for the Tommy. Just you keep moving. Just you keep moving. Okay. Oh, going. Young male. What was that all about? Oh, you could immediately tell that was one of the youngsters. It was done purely on instinct, without any thought or planning. I imagine Malaika's just standing there shaking her head. It's a good effort. It was a very good effort. And of course what Thompson's gazelle do is they actually follow the cheetah in order to see where they've gone. There you go. Tim, there you go. An answer to your question. Why do the antelope follow the cheetah? Because it's not the cheetah you see that gets you. It's the cheetah you don't see. Or, the lion. Okay, I'm going to leave these lions. I'm going to stay with the cheetah. So it's the cheetah. It's essentially the cheetah that you don't see that catches you. As long as they've got them at a safe distance where they can see them, then chances are they will be okay. But if the cheetah manages to sneak around them and get up to full speed before the antelope realize they're there, then they have a much higher chance of being caught. So it happens with everything. Impala do it. I've seen Impala chase Kruger and her cubs before. Not chase, follow. Follow is perhaps a better term for it. Cheetah, I don't think you realized just how close you came. Okay, I'm going to catch up with our fleet of foot cats. In the meantime, Brent has got a bird that is fleet of foot as well.
Very fleet and foot indeed, except this one is on the ground, and I'm wondering whether we might have discovered an ostrich nest. Now we can't see. He could just be having a lie down in the gravel there, but you never know. And I've just been sitting here waiting to see if he starts sort of trying to move stuff around. But there we go. And male ostrich. Parlin is wondering, could an ostrich ever fly in a big storm? Parlin, ostriches are flightless birds, so they don't fly in even a small storm. They are ground dwelling birds, and they lost the ability of flight and gained the ability of a very fast running speeds. They can run at about 70 kilometers an hour, and so they've adapted to life on the ground. They can't fly at all. So there we go. I'm wondering, I've been looking for a female around here. Tony is wondering what an ostrich call sounds like. Well, a lot of people actually get confused with an ostrich call. It sometimes sounds a bit like a lion. And lucky for you, I have an ostrich call close by. I just keep ostrich callers in my pocket, you know. It's how we roll. That's what an ostrich call sounds like. And from a long way away, it can sound like a lion roaring. So I'm going to move it a bit further away from my cap. Let's do that again. Woo. There we go. That's what an ostrich call sounds like. There are some slight variations on it. It doesn't always sound exactly like that, but that is an ostrich calling. Aiden, who's 6 years old, is wondering, where do ostriches sleep? Well, on the ground, just like that one. Now, I'm going to try and maneuver a little bit further forward to see if I can see if there are any eggs there. As I said, he could have just been having a snooze or a dust bath. Now, sometimes you'll be able to see the eggs under the ostrich's wings. So both the male and female will look after the eggs. So I'm just going to try see if we can get a view. I think this is very possibly, I think I see an egg, Manu. I'm not sure. I do see an egg. I was right. Isn't this exciting? It is an ostrich nest. So the male is busy sitting on the nest while the female is out. And There we go, an ostrich nest. Isn't that very exciting? Well, we're definitely going to have to come keep checking on here to see when the little ones hatch. Isn't that cool? Now, I think this is our first ostrich nest in the Mara. The only other ostrich egg I think Jamie saw being carried by a lion. Vicky is wondering how many eggs do they lay at once. Vicky, they can be up to 20 even, but normally around 15. It all just depends. I think, if I remember correctly, there was one particular ostrich in South Africa that laid a huge amount of eggs. But I'd say 15 to 25 is normal. I can't remember. There was one ostrich who laid something ridiculous like 40 eggs. She must have almost disappeared in size. Now, they will aggressively defend that nest against predators, and particular hyenas, who tend to give ostrich nests quite a working over. It's a lot of really, really good food underneath that ostrich. See, I said I was looking for an egg that might have just popped out the side. It's quite a good spot in a murram or borrow pit that people use to get soil out to fix the roads. So it's quite a good spot. It's quite well hidden. So it could be a good spot to avoid predators. And you can see there's some zebra in the background. Avoid predators like Manu and I have avoided the storms. So, as I just said, but Star was wondering, where is the mother? Why is he alone? They take turns to sit on the nest, and the reason for that is so one can feed while the other guards the nest, and they will rotate. The males quite often sit on it in the afternoon and into the night, because being black, it's a better camouflage. Oh dear. Manu, as I thought we were avoiding storms, there's another storm coming in from behind us. I just heard thunder and lightning suddenly behind us. Oh, I didn't hear the lightning, I heard the thunder. Like, actually, oh, that's very pretty. Let me just show you quickly. You can see the rain up against the hill. That hill's where Sekanani is. There you go, you can actually just see it. Isn't that cool? You can see how the wind's bending it. He's waiting for the car to go past. There we go. He's nearly behind the gardenia. And you can see there, a little bit to the left, you can see how the wind is bending the rain. That's not too far from us, a couple of kilometers. So we avoided all the rain to the northwest of us, but looks like the east is going to produce. I'll give you one last view of the daddy ostrich, and then we're going to leave him in peace while he guards his precious eggs. There we go. Do a good job, chap. Now, while we leave the ostrich to look after his lovely brood of eggs, let's go across to James, who's looking for leopard.
Hello everybody again. We are just following up on some alarming or alarmed Guinea fowl. We were hoping they'd seen a leopard. One of them is in the tree ahead of us. Can you get it from here, Seb? Up in the tree there, and there are a few on the ground below, which makes me think that this calling is possibly more to do with nesting and courtship than it is to do with leopards all over the place. They've stopped calling now. They go there, like that. And then there's some others off to the right-hand side going which is a much less alarm-filled call.
Kind of looking at something down there.
He's looking at something, but is it not his friends that he's looking at? Oh, here comes some more. I think this is nesting. Herbert said to me, as I got back a week ago, he said they're making a huge noise because they're all nesting and breeding at the moment. And he reckoned that we were making mistakes by assuming they were alarm calling. Here you can hear the other call. Isn't that nice? And in the background, the grey-headed bushshrike. Anyway, I'm afraid we have failed to pick up any Tundi tracks. That's what our plan was initially. Let's just carry on going past here. Gregory, yes, potentially. You say, wouldn't the call attract potential predators? Yes, it would. There's some more on the ground there. No, there's no leopard here, I don't think. But Gregory, often an alarm call is an indication to a predator that it's been seen. And once it knows it's been seen, it will very seldom then try and pursue the animal that has seen it, because almost always it will be able to get away from it if it has seen it. Can you get that, or I'll put your pole in the way? We are still with our poles on, everyone, because there is the chance of inclement weather. Well, yes. Ooh, very upset. Come on, give us another one. Can you?
No, that one I won't be able to.
You won't be able to get it. It's just got the most ridiculous expression on its face when it calls, but the roof's in the way, I'm afraid. We can't get it. There you go. Oh, yes. You're so upset. Either a date gone wrong or something. Sinak, you want to know if guinea fowl have a mating call? You know what? Let's consult the app quickly and see if it doesn't differentiate for us between the calls. I think this is one of them. Well, I know it's a guinea fowl call because I can see the guinea fowl doing it, but I think there is a mating call. Let me look. And G for guinea fowl. Here we go. Call. Staccato cackling in alarm. Also a two-note buckwheat, buckwheat, buckwheat contact call. Let's go to the... here we go. During the breeding season, the female gives a two-noted buckwheat, buckwheat, buckwheat contact call. Male responds with a single note ting, ting. Together, females call and male response sound like a three-note call from a single bird. Buckwheat, ting, buckwheat, ting. Contacts call within flocks a single note chink and soft tip, 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 tiri, tiri, call given by courting male when offering food to a female. Tiri, tiri. So this is an alarm call, essentially, but there are guinea fowl knocking about all over here, on the ground, in trees around here. Shut up! And I'm not convinced there's any predator here. I mean, there are a whole lot more coming behind us there. So I think it has got to do with courtship. It is perhaps that he has failed to find a lady to accept his affections. Oh, he's come down now. There he is. Let's see if he tries to mangle a potential rival. No, he's going to have something to eat. There was also, a little while back, a Wahlberg's eagle that flew over the top of this tree, and maybe they were having a call at him. And now that he's gone, the guinea fowl are all coming out into the open. And some chasing going on here. Can you get them, sir? Or shall I reverse? I do apologise for the pole once again. Unfortunately, until we've figured a way to make this roof sit on the car via magnetism, we are going to have the pole in the way. Being true about that, and I am. And they don't nest in trees. Although they roost in trees, they don't nest in trees. They of course nest on the ground in a shallow scrape, well concealed, I'm told, under grass or in a thicket. So once the buckwheating and cheeing is finished, well, then there will be a nest, well concealed in the thicket. Right, well, I think we've spent quite enough time with these helmeted guinea fowls, and I think we should perhaps head on. Well, sea Cantrell, you're wondering how we tell male from female. As I've just said, it's almost impossible. I think that they are completely identical morphologically, or at least, you know, on the outside. Tried to find a fancy word for that and failed. So they look superficially exactly the same. You might find that they're slightly different sizes, but I don't think that's easy at all. This little bush in front of us on the right-hand side of this thicket, there's a little bird that I think is a golden-breasted bunting. You see a golden-breasted bunting in there? It's always nice to see the golden breast of a golden-breasted bunting. There it goes. It's left. Never mind. It has departed post-haste. We will now continue down towards Twin Dams, and then we might come back up into this area and see if we don't get lucky with Tandai. We are 99.99% sure that she has moved her den from the original one. And I believe we're not the only ones on the search for the leopard. I believe that Noel is also, and I think she's actually got some tracks. So let's go and find out how her search is progressing.
Indeed, James, we're also searching for the elusive leopard, and we had tracks, we think possibly of Hasana, but they're not the freshest. He walked sort of on the northern side of Treehouse Dam and then this way. So I've come back to where I was hearing those Franklin alarm calls. We've looked in the outflow, we've looked in the inflow, we've looked all around, but because they're not the freshest, I'm thinking that he's moved on a little bit. He's not gone, but he's somewhere and he's just not wanting to be seen. So I'm just going to widen our search area and just check and see if maybe I've missed something, or just sort of anticipate, hopefully, about where he might be. We also had some male lion tracks, also not the freshest, sort of meandering north and west. And we'll go check our western boundary again. It's been nice and cool and overcast and cloudy all day. And so hopefully that means the predators have been moving earlier than quote unquote normal, and we'll be able to pick up on something with them. But in the meantime, we are sorry, just hold on a second. Oh, nope. Overexcited. In the meantime, I'm trying to come up with some birds to show you. Still waiting to get some cuckoos that want to sit still long enough to be seen on camera. And other than that, sort of bumbling along. The weather like this is interesting. You're either going to get everything, or you're going to really have to work for anything that wants to pop up. I mean, even the Impala have been hiding themselves. Alright, well, up in the Mara, Jamie definitely has a cat for you. She's trying to catch up with her cheetah. So let's head on up to her, and hopefully she can show you something amazing.
Well, it is amazing. We've got 3 soggy cats, still trying to decide where they're going to go and where they're going to lead us. I've had to go all the way around to catch up with them because I don't really want to go through the soggy patch. But we're getting a repeat of this morning, where the cheetah are wandering through the water and occasionally hissing at it, just in case a crocodile happened to flow from the ridge all the way down in this direction. Oh! So many puddles. Yeah, quickly, just in case. And welcome again to Aiden. Now, Aiden is one of our 6-year-old viewers and wants to know if a cheetah meow to warn their friends of danger. Aiden, when there's danger around, a lot of the time the cheetah will just turn and run away, just because that's all they've got time to do. They just have to run. But if it's a mother with her youngsters, then she will not quite meow, but make a sound that sounds a little bit like a bird. She chirps. She goes chirp, chirp. Quite a high-pitched, almost a sound like a bird. And that's her way of calling to them. And then what you'll find is once the danger has passed, once the cheetah have escaped, then if they want to catch up with their friends again, then they do call. And not only can I... Oh, look at this cheetah. Look, he's going for his brother. Get him! Water spraying everywhere. Oh, straight through the soaking wet bushes. Now, I'm very lucky, Aiden, because a friend of mine actually videoed a cheetah calling to another cheetah, calling to its friend. So I'm going to, while we watch these cheetah play, I'm going to play you the sound. So that, Aiden, is what cheetahs sound like. And that was something sent to me by Emma, by the way, who was working in the low veld. So she sent me, that was courtesy of a very, very close friend of mine. Oh! Swimming time! I don't think you meant to do that. I'm a bit embarrassed. Or was that just great fun? Or are you going to get a proper shake-off? Or is he just too embarrassed after his unexpected swim? You got to watch out for those puddles. Sometimes they're deeper than they look. That was most unfortunate. Now you've got a save face. Look how drenched he is. Sinak, cheetah do drink frequently when there's water available, but they don't need to necessarily. So you're wondering if they need to in order to thermoregulate their bodies, because of course they've got this explosively powerful running ability, but it doesn't last for very long and then they're exhausted. But most of their cooling is done through the pads of their feet, as well as obviously the more obvious way through panting, which of course then in turn creates a situation where there is water loss. But you do get cheetah that are very well adapted to living in dry areas. So in desert areas you will find cheetah, and they don't need to drink every day. There's certain physiological things that go on within their bodies, for example within their kidneys, to help with reabsorption of water rather than wasting too much water in their urine. Although having said that, I have never known an animal that can urinate as much as a cheetah can, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but I mean, we see leopards scent marking, lions scent marking all the time, but have you ever seen how much a cheetah scent marks with? I don't know how those boys do it, quite frankly. They must have bladders the size of, I don't know, footballs or something. Okay, a little bit more intent there from Soggy. I bet he's freezing. Silly boy. Silly boy, your mum picked her way across there so daintily. I'm going to get ahead of them and just see whether or not there's any Thompson's gazelle or anything like that. So, while I go off in search of what Malaika might be interested in eating for dinner, Noel has found an animal that would clean up after them.
Well, hopefully Jamie's cheetah managed to get their meal for the afternoon, and then afterwards they might see something like this coming down towards the carcass. This is a white-backed vulture, sitting very forlornly in his dead tree with the gray sky behind him. Reminded me of one of the vultures in the Jungle Book. I say he, but it could be a she. There's not a lot of sexual dimorphism between the two, the male and the female. And it's just a bit too cold. It's been too cold for most of the day for this vulture to catch any thermals and to move up higher to search for food. So our old world vultures use their eyesight as opposed to their sense of smell to find what they need to eat. And sometimes they're physically seeing the carcass, and sometimes they are seeing other vultures starting to head down lower and they follow them to a possible dead animal there. Now, with the structure of this vulture, I want you to take a really close look at the head, at how little feather is on the head, and that has a lot to do with the fact that they stick their heads into dead animals to obtain that food source. And so if they had longer feathers up there, it's harder for them to be clean. And vultures are very fastidious creatures. They like to be clean. They will go and bathe themselves. Oh, quick link to Jamie. Cheetah on the move, possible hunt. Let's head away and see what she has. We'll see you in a bit.
Okay, so we've caught up, and I noticed an immediate change in Malaika's body language, so I drove up ahead, not behind her, deliberately, so that we didn't alert the antelope to what was behind her. One has caught on, or at least is looking in her direction. There's one up ahead there that is looking, or was looking at her. In fact, I think it's figured that something's not right, but it hasn't quite figured out what yet. There we go. Oh, Malaika, it might already be over. That's Tommy. So keen-eyed. Such a difficult animal to sneak up on. Okay, it's heads down. So the distance between the cheetah and the Thompson's gazelle that are feeding here is probably somewhere in the region of about 100 yards. No, more than that. About 200 yards. between the cheetah and the Thompson's gazelle. Boys are down. Good boys. That's the way you want to be. Although I think that's largely because Soggy wants to clean himself off after his unexpected swim. Now this could be quite a long process. There's actually Thompson's gazelles all around here. Which way is she going to go? I think she's going to come up towards us. She's looking off in the other direction. She might have seen a slightly better target, the Tommies that she went past earlier. She's starting to lose light. She might move around in the dark, but with this many lions about and with a cloudy night ahead, I'm not certain that she will. So if she doesn't manage in the next hour or so, it's going to be very difficult for her. We know that cheetah hunt at night. We followed the males when they have done so, but on stormy nights like this, I doubt that they do. Just because it's so much scarier for them. They've got no chance of seeing or hearing or smelling a lion coming towards them. So better to stay still in a place that she knows is safe. Especially with those two young rascals with very little common sense. And now we wait. Tommy's feeding. There's more Tommies in the background as well. Janet, that movement, even of that big stretch, was probably not the best move. Now Janet's wondering who would make the first move, Malaika or her sons. It depends very much on the scenario. These boys are not... They're old enough to know better, but at this point their behavior is still not 100%, or definitely not 100% under Malaika's control. So I imagine that more than their fair share of hunts, they have messed up as a result of, well, essentially going for the animal too soon. So they've probably messed up more than a few of her stalks just by losing patience. So it's difficult to know who would make the first move. I imagine that Malaika might hope for them to be distracted from the whole situation, and then she can actually make a move without any chance of them wrecking it. Unfortunately, I don't think that that option is presented to her all that regularly. That Tommy that spotted her, I think already it's over. Just that stretch from that young male as he got up and stretched out his back. I think that was it. And that one Tommy is now so on alert. Even if it hasn't quite seen them, it definitely knows something's not right. Not taking any chances. And now she's really going to have to work for this. I find it fascinating the way that the cheetahs plan out their hunts like this. I don't think we fully know. What are those down there? Are those also Tommies? They are Tommies, aren't they? Down at the bottom there by the river. So there's lots of Tommies about this particular area. But she's not going to initiate a chase at the moment. They're too far away. There's no way she could be successful. But if she stays lying down, perhaps she's hoping that the Tommies might come in her direction. I don't think those closest to us are going to, but the ones at the bottom might. No. She was so fully in stalk mode. Now she's in waiting patient mode. Mia, yes, I think it is possible that Malaika and her sons might tag team like the Musketeers do. Not quite the same, though, because essentially in that situation it'll be when she's caught or injured the prey and then she's moved away for the boys. But because their prey jinks and jives, it changes direction constantly. There might be a situation where she's chasing something, it turns away from her and it turns into one of her boys, in which case they do have enough experience now to catch and kill that animal. So it's sort of like they're tag teaming, but it's not quite the same as the Musketeers. Watching the musketeers is really, it's quite a unique situation. I've never seen anything like it. I really haven't. Okay, nothing's going to happen now. Not yet. Nothing's going to change yet. We just have to wait patiently as Malaika waits patiently, because those little Tommies at the bottom are actually moving in her direction. Those ones there are grazing towards her. Now what I did when I moved around is I moved not behind her and then tried to cut across her. I actually moved all the way around. I did a full circle before I came back to the position that we're in. And the reason that I did that is the noise of our vehicles. The animals aren't afraid of our vehicles, but they do look up when they hear us driving. So my intention was to avoid, if they were going to look up in our direction, we were far enough away that she wouldn't take advantage of that, but at the same time they wouldn't see her. So that's why you'll notice when we're in hunts like this, we often do very large circles away from the predator that we're following, rather than following directly behind. If we're following directly behind, it's because we don't think that something's going to unfold. Okay, that's it. It's going to be quite a long time before these Tommies move in her direction or get close enough to her, especially with that silly little twit standing up and shaking himself. Sit down, naughty. I know you're cold, but those Tommies are going to see you, and then you're not going to have any dinner. You will go to bed hungry. Poor Malaika, what she has to contend with. I always feel for mothers with young cubs. Adele, cheetah do climb trees, but you won't see them in trees as often as you see leopards. They're not built that way. They're not structured that way. They are built for speed and running and jogging, not for climbing. So they're not very good climbers, but they can climb, and we do occasionally see them up in trees. It's unusual, but we do see them climbing up into trees. So it does happen. They actually often scent mark in trees and often defecate on a fallen log or a fallen tree. But they're not the world's best climbers. I've seen them right up in the top of marula trees before, but it's very unusual. Sometimes they'll also move up there to escape. If they're in an area with lots of tsetse flies, they'll move up into the trees to escape the tsetse flies and to get a little bit of a breeze. But they're not tree climbers like leopards are tree climbers. Leopards are truly at home, leaping from branch to branch. They're very, very graceful and well balanced. Cheetah have massive paws, and they don't have retractable claws. So their feet are almost like dogs. Not 100%, so please don't take that as a straight comparison, but they're more similar to dogs in that their claws are only semi-retractable, and they're actually quite blunted from using them for traction for running. So they can't leap up and extend their claws and grip into the bark in the way that a leopard can. Oh, is everybody having a little bit of a clean-up after that unexpected swim? Now, Lily, who is another young viewer that has joined us for the safari. Lily's 6 years old. Lily would like to know, how long will these young cheetahs stay with their mum? And the answer to that is around about 6 or so months still. So cheetah will stay with their mum anywhere from about 1.5 years up till 2 years old. Then they move off on their own, and then it's time for their mum to have her next set of cubs. So these boys they're still quite young. I think that they'll probably be with mum between 3 to 6 months still before they are ready to move off on their own. I don't really want to move any closer to these cheetah now, because if we do, we're going to draw attention to them. And that is the last thing I want. So we just sort of have to deal with this long distance view. I don't think anything is going to change now. Oh look, they're fighting buffalo on the other side of the river. Craig? Fighting buffalo. There we go. Sparring buffalo, I think, would perhaps be a better description. Look at that. Not something you see every day. Also, I think full of the joys of spring. Or at least trying to warm themselves up, because it's now freezing here. A little bit of physical activity. Dashing backwards and forwards. All the animals seem playful. Even the big grumpy buffalo. And back we go. In for another charge. Very, very gentle. You can see that this isn't serious. Invitations, play bowing. Just like puppies might do. It's an invitation to butt heads rather than an attack. Dancing backwards and forwards like that. Sinak, yes, it is common behavior for young buffalo, but at the same time, these are not young buffalo, these are older buffalo. These are not solitary bachelor bulls, but bachelor boys who will live in groups of anywhere from 2 or 3 up until about 50. We call them the Duggar boys. So they are fully mature bulls. Then I don't think that they're all that young, although it's hard for me to tell at this distance, but just looking at the development of their horns, I would put them over 5 years old at least. Just as a guess. They look like big solid boys. But it is more common in young buffalo. Obviously, play in general is more common in young animals than it is in older animals. But sparring between males is something that transcends all generations. Let's put it that way. You'll find all animals sparring at one point or another, or play fighting with each other. Part of it, I'm sure, we don't really know, but part of it, I'm sure, is to do with practicing skills. But I think if you look at the way that these buffalo are behaving, I think personally they're having fun. But that we'll never know. We can't really put ourselves into the mind of the buffalo. But I think they're having fun. Ariel, no. The cheetah will not hunt buffalo. The buffalo are far too large for them. Even a baby buffalo, the danger, of course, is that the entire buffalo herd will turn on the cheetah and defend their youngster. And while lions have a certain degree of intimidation within the size of their bodies and their behavior, cheetah do not have that same level. So there's no way that they would risk hunting a young buffalo. And certainly not a big one. In fact, I have to confess, after all of that, I don't think these cheetah look like they're interested in hunting at all. They just seem cold and miserable now. They're all tucked into one big family ball, and there they shall stay, cuddled up together. I don't think they're going to plan on sleeping here. It's rather open, but they don't seem very happy. James, there are certain situations where cheetah have been known to attack human beings. It's very unusual behavior, though, and for the most part you can rely on the assumption that the cheetah will not attack a human being. Cheetah are not a threat to fully grown humans. Cheetah will kill a small child that is unaccompanied, that is on foot. That is not questioned. So there is a very good chance if a small child wanders into the vicinity of a cheetah, cheetah acts on natural wild instincts and it will attack them, and it can potentially kill them. And unfortunately recently that has actually happened, albeit with a tame cheetah. I know 2 people who've been attacked by cheetah, one of whom was so surprised that he smacked it on the head with his stick, with his knob kerry, with the stick, you know, similar to the one that Brent and James carry when they're walking. He didn't know what else to do, so he whacked it in the nose. And the cheetah turned around, turned tail, and ran away. He didn't seriously hurt the cheetah, just so that you know. He just had to act, because otherwise it was going to jump on him. That's very unusual. The other person was attacked in a car. The vehicle didn't have a door. The cheetah was very, very comfortable with vehicles. It walked past him, and for some reason, it remains a mystery to this day, jumped up and grabbed him by the right arm, and left a couple of pretty deep scars, but otherwise he was unharmed. He luckily had the car in gear. All he had to do was turn it on and stop one of his guests from trying to pull the rifle out of the bag. Like, you know, that was a good idea. But apparently the guest lost her mind completely and decided it was up to her to save him. But fortunately he managed to swat her hands away and drive forward, and the cheetah let go. Unusual situation. It's really not very common at all.
Everybody, we are still on our search, and the rain has started to come again. So hopefully this means that if anything's hiding, it'll push out for a little bit. But I think with this weather, it's going to be one of those afternoons where we're really searching for hen's teeth. But as always, positive, trying to send out the good vibes to get everything to pop up and say hello. Still haven't even seen an Impala yet. Hoping James is doing a little bit better on the other side of Djuma. I'm thinking we're gonna go check more of the northwestern corner, see if anything pops up there. That's kind of the area where the wild dogs have been in and out over the past week or 2 weeks. They are busy denning over on the properties that are on our western side. So they'll move around in there, and then they come over to us, hunt a little bit, and then go back and regurgitate the meat for their youngsters. But it seems as though Jamie's been giving you quite a good show with those cheetahs up there. It's just incredible the amount of cheetah action they get. It's super exciting. And then just from our side, yeah, the good thing about this rain is that we're going to have lots of yummy green grass, and hopefully the buffalo will come back. I heard from one of the Biffleshoek guys that they had a herd of buffalo up by them. So they're slowly moving back into our area, which is a very, very, very good thing. Now, interestingly enough, sorry, my ability to speak today is it's a little bit off. Interestingly enough, we have oh, sorry about that. One of us here. If I could see an animal for just one day, what would it be? Oh my goodness, we have Impala. It wouldn't be Impala, but they're here. We have a mammal species. If I could see an animal for just one day, one of us here, what would it be? I think that it might be a whale shark, to be honest with you. I've always wanted to go swimming with whale sharks, so I think for me, that would be my ultimum that I can think of for now. How beautiful is that male Impala? Yeah, I would go with a whale shark. We don't have whale sharks in in Djuma, obviously, but I'm learning how to dive at the moment, and I was over in Mozambique a couple years ago, over on the coast there, and it's an area that we usually see quite a few whale sharks. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance then, but that would be something I would love to do. However, that being said, on that diving expedition, for my first dive into the ocean, I watched an octopus kill a fish, and I was just enthralled, and I got so excited, and I looked around, and everybody was gone. So I had done the number one thing, which is I left my buddy. I left everybody else because I was busy following this octopus. Oh, it was very, very cool. So yes, a whale shark. Although I'm sure the list would be a little bit longer, but a whale shark for one day. Okay, well, we've got this little bachelor herd of Impala. I'm just going to pull forward a wee bit. We've got a fork-tailed drongo that's busy following them, catching some insects. There we go. They're not on as high alert as the females we were seeing this morning, but they are definitely aware of this type of weather and the little bit of rain that's coming down. The wind has died down a bit, which is lovely. It means that they can hear and smell properly. So they're okay for now, but it's going to be a tough evening for them. That is for sure. A very tough evening trying to keep their wits about them with this type of cloudy, gloomy weather. All right, let's carry on down the way and see what happens. And see if maybe something jumps out and shows us their beautiful face. We had a beautiful set of tracks for honey badger this morning, and we just had tracks for aardvark a little while ago. So there's some interesting creatures out and about, but James has a little antelope he would like to show you, so let's head over to him.
Yes, we do have a very little antelope, and we are talking very quietly because every time Seb or I moves slightly, then the antelope looks as if it might run away. I am also talking quietly. I believe Jamie now has hunting cheetah again. Bye. I believe Jamie.
Okay, the boys are off, and they are running interestingly around the antelope. So here we've got an answer to social hunting, and whether they work together as a team. Their mother has stayed behind, and the one boy has looped around the group of Thompson's gazelle. There's Mum. There's Malaika. She's moving towards them, and the Thompsons, I think, are distracted, and they've got nowhere to go. Oh, there they go. They're going to go racing off along. Is Malaika going to go for them? Her boy on the right is going as well. There they go. They're off. There she is. She's going to try and intercept them. And she's off. We're watching another cheetah hunt live from the Masai Mara in Kenya. We've got 3 cheetah hunting, 1 female and her 2 young boys, and they've been hunting Thompson's gazelle, but they have raced off, and unfortunately for the cheetah, they have missed it. But all of this happening live right here in the Masai Mara of Kenya. Now, for those of you that have just joined us, my name is Jamie, and this evening, Craig is on camera with me, and that was such a beautifully planned hunt, but it just didn't quite go according to plan. I'm still missing 1 cheetah, though. I've got 1 over there, 1 over there, but where on earth has the 3rd cheetah gone? There it is. There it is. So obviously during the hunt and the stalk itself, we were very, very cautious so as not to move the vehicle and interrupt the hunt in any way. But now that the hunt is over, we can actually reposition and we can watch what they get up to now. So it's soaking wet out here. We've just experienced a massive storm. I won't be able to go to where that cheetah is just because it is so incredibly soggy that we might not ever come out again. As I said, this is transpiring live. There's another antelope there. It's going down into the river system. Is it going to panic and run into the direction of this female cheetah? It's running straight at her. It's panicked. And all of this happening live, which means that you can ask your questions in the comments section below. Francis, in Israel, you want to know if the cheetah just aren't fast enough. They are fast enough. Oh, shame, the little thing's whistling and alarm calling. The young male is moving in its direction. I think it's going to end up getting trapped between the two cheetah. It can't run into the river. Yes, they are fast enough, but they cannot sustain it, and the antelope are very, very fast as well. So they have to get close enough to the antelope before they start their sprint. There goes the female. You see, he's chasing that antelope in the direction of the mother, calling now to her. And she's just waiting. This is an amazing example of them actually cooperating. Scarlet, a cheetah can only run about 200 yards or so before it gets tired. Why is she not? It's right there. It's right in front of her. I think she's helping the young boys to learn all of the skills that they're going to need in terms of hunting. She's right up close to it. It hasn't seen her. It's a reedbuck, so it is quite a big animal. And it's now moving towards the second of her young males. Is he in place? Is he going to get it? Here comes the first young male's racing in. And now Malaika's going to step in and hunt. Okay, we're going to reposition quickly. Hold on, everyone. We're going to go forward. Oh, here's... I think they've missed it. Once again, how? There were 3 of you. You were so close. I think that she left that as a learning curve for those 2 young males. So let me just explain about the dynamics, because I haven't had a chance to do that. There's the reedbuck over there. I'll show you the 3 cheetah in a moment. So there's the reedbuck. Now, this particular group of cheetah, the female is known as Malaika. She's 10 years old, and she's very, very experienced. Now, she is raising 2 young males. That's Malaika over there, the mother of the 2 little ones. Now, they're at the age where they critically need to hone their hunting skills. And they set up a sort of a trap, a pincer-like movement, where the one male looped around and the other one went left, one went right, and Mum went down the middle. But I think the terrain was what actually saved that reedbuck. Now, if you look at it, it's very tricky. Now, there was nothing that she could do. She knows she's not as agile as an antelope, and I think that's why she didn't go for it. It looked deceptively flat, but I think in this situation, there was nothing she could do. She couldn't run down through that dip and try and grab it. She risks injury, and if she injures herself, it could mean a death for both her and her 2 males. So, an unlucky hunt once again for poor Malaika. She did her best. It was all set up almost perfectly. Philip, you say it's so nice to see a group hunting tactic. Absolutely. When we watch moments like this, it's not to show you what a hunt looks like. I think that you all know what a hunt looks like, or at least a kill looks like. This is about showing you the struggle of life and death that these animals face out here. And even though they have a very high hunting success rate, a lot of the time for cheetah, especially with youngsters involved, they don't manage to pull it off. And to see something like that is a learning curve for all of us. For our idea of cheetah is that they are solitary hunters, but as we've been following the various groups of cheetah out here in the Masai Mara, we've been learning so much about them. So now, Malaika has to go off. Everything in this area is alert to their presence. She's got to lead the boys onwards in the search for dinner. And so as she strolls off, all elegance and strength and speed bundled into such a slim figure, it's time for us to say a farewell for those of you that have joined us for this action broadcast. Stay tuned if anything does change with Malaika or any of the other animals of the Mara. If we're there, we will share it with you. From Craig and myself, thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed a brief but exciting time with Malaika.